And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of ley lines, we have the best Terran player in all of Brazil, representing his new team, now representing Team Little Fairy. Oh god, never mind, we'll get to his intro later. Spawning in the top right-hand corner of ley lines, we have the Brazilian Protoss player, the best Protoss in all of Brazil, and arguably the best Protoss in all of Latino America, representing Team Hellfire. It is MasTeR. Ranked number 1 in the overall circuit, and spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have the best Terran player in all of Brazil. It is INexorable for Little Fairy. Ranked number 3 in the overall standings. If you're curious who is 1, 2, and 3, number 1 is MasTeR, number 2 is Eric, and number 3 is INexorable. They are the top 3 in Brazil, and you can see the history between these players, very back and forth. 45% in favor of INexorable, 55% in favor of MasTeR, but you can see in every series, ace matches all around. There were so many 3-2s in that scoreline, in that back and forth, in that graphic. So many ace matches. In recent times, we have seen INexorable bring down MasTeR, typically off of hyper-aggressive play, usually timing attacks on 2 bases, on 3 bases, is what INexorable does thrive, as he's a much more aggressive player, and we'll see how MasTeR can keep up. Light doesn't sleep because it's never dark, but always dank. Oh no. I had I mentioned this over the course of the weekend, but I did sleep in 2-hour intervals this week, or this weekend. Basically, I had a cast and I slept 2 hours, and I had another cast and I slept 2 hours, and I had another cast and I slept 2 hours. Or I tried to sleep 2 hours. The first time I didn't get to sleep at all. But yeah, that was the plan. And we made it through the weekend. We made it through. We casted like, I want to say like 6 or 7 tournaments within the course of 2 days. Something like that. It was intense, Pat. It was intense. We made it. We made it. Let's go. And this is the final tournament to wrap it up, to wrap up the weekend. After this, I'm gonna have to edit as many VODs as I can, schedule a bunch of VODs, and we have the Wardy TV Monday later on tonight. But we made it. Let's go. Thing is, if we don't cast, who does, Pat? Who does? We gotta be there. For now though, we now have our build of choice. INexorable, he does open up with a 3 racks. Let's go. Initially, economic opener, going for the racks expand into a 3 rack setup. This is very old school. This is very out of meta. This was very in meta and in vogue back maybe a year ago. This is going to be for a very heavy bio army. Ooh, actually, tech lab on the factory. Never mind. I mean, this is still working towards early stim, but also earlier tank production. And this is going to hit like a truck. This looks like a 2-base all-in. From here, INexorable, he has the option to pull the boys. So the way this works here is that we're building up a heavy marine count. We're going to hit a timing with stim, building up an early tank count. I believe this hits with 3 tanks. I want to say around 3 tanks here for INexorable. It's going to hit like a truck. And INexorable, he will have the option to push out without medevacs. Remember, there is no starport. We delay the starport in favor of a 2nd and 3rd racks, and in favor of stim. So just no starport whatsoever, not right now. And again, he may just skip the starport and pull the boys. And right now, the pressure, the onus is on MasTeR to scout this. He sees a part of it. He sees the early 2nd racks at the natural, which is part of the tell. But for all he knows, this could be a 2-1-1. This could be a 3-1-1. This could still be a faster starport. He doesn't have full confirmation. We need an observer. We need a hallucination. We need something to confirm. Again, the pressure is on MasTeR. Observer's on the way. It's going to take a little bit longer to get across the map, but he's on the way. There's the eBay for +1. I believe right now INexorable is on 2 tanks. Okay, there's a starport. He doesn't get a 3rd tank. So starport instead into medevacs. I say into medevacs. Technically, this could be Liberator. Like, unironically. It's going to be a Liberator instead, just for that extra DPS. Ooh, actually, add-on swap. Okay. That's interesting. That's why there was no third tank. Observer confirms. Observer sees the timing of the starport. But that's why there's no third tank. He add-on swaps out of the tech lab, which means the starport will have a tech lab instead, correct? What's going on? Waiting for concussive shell. Reactor's on the way. I believe that reactor is on the factory, so this could still be an add-on swap for the reactor for the starport. As the buildings are lifting. Third CC is on the way. That is a surprise. I'm not convinced that it's real, I'll be honest. There's the add-on swap, you can see it off screen. Yep, reactor medevac. Now the third CC is revealed to MasTeR. The observer is aware. And this move out should hit with +1. INexorable, he breaks out. My eyes are on that mini-map. I'm waiting for it. Oh, is that it? Oh, no, just transfer. Just a transfer. Never mind. Does break out across the map. Colossus is almost done. And we'll see what INexorable can do here. Again, this is very committed. He is getting a third CC. 2 more maxes. Okay, he's macroing out of this. But now there's a Colossus. MasTeR, he can shut this down. He can and he will. Oh, the Colossus is within range of the tank fire. Colossus almost going down. Has to kite back. Does kite away. Zealous do a great job tanking here. And with that, INexorable, he trades, but he cannot push through. He cannot push through. Again, if the boys were with this, then sure, but he opted not to go for the all-in. And with that, I had to favor MasTeR. Like, MasTeR, he has a better economy. From here, he can take a 4th base. Another Colossus. And INexorable, he trades against gateway units, but doesn't get the damage he was hoping for. And the game continues. Game does continue. Now, what I will say, INexorable did keep his tanks alive. True. Did keep them alive. So he can make use of them later on. But now he's forced to retreat. MasTeR now gets a 4th base, and MasTeR is getting further ahead at this point. Getting a 4th, getting +2, getting extendable lance. You could argue the 4th base is quite late here for MasTeR. It's a late 4th. MasTeR pokes in. Gonna be zoned away. He's zoned away. Colossus taking a lot of damage. Taking a lot of fire. Oof, as they both go down. Oh, that should not have happened. Both Colossus fall, and INexorable takes a massive supply lead. He can just move out. Yeah, MasTeR overextends. Again, he should not have been out there. Earlier, I was saying that he took a lead. That was an economic lead. Did not have to break out like that, and suddenly MasTeR is in trouble. He's in danger. The rover is under fire. He's not going to get another Colossus. And without Colossus, how does he hold? He needs more time. Zealous collapse in. He blinks one forward into tank fire. Now we spoke about those 2 tanks. GG gets called, and INexorable, he punishes MasTeR. He breaks him, and INexorable takes game number 1. Whew. GG. Again, MasTeR with a heavy overextension. He did defend well. He was getting a 4th base. He was macroing up, building up towards extendable lance, and then he pushed out. He got caught with his pants down. He lost everything, and everything quickly escalated from there. Again, showing that you cannot make these missteps, you cannot make these mistakes. Losing 2 Colossus that early on was brutal. And hey, those tanks that survived, they came into play. We're able to make use of them in the counterattack. INexorable to take it from there. GG. GG, well played, INexorable. He does take a lead in the series, and MasTeR has to calm things down. He has to calm things down. Oh no. We'll see if he can. As game 2 is going to be on Tokamak. Now, as a reminder, this is a best of 5, so plenty more games ahead of us. Plenty more games to come. Here we go. Getting into one of the larger maps of the map pool. Larger map, more defensive map. And we'll see how our players do adjust coming into this. Oh. As spawning in the top right-hand corner of Tokamak, so bottom left-hand corner of Tokamak, we have the Brazilian Protoss player, the Red Protoss, representing Team Hellfire. Down in the series, we'll see if he bounces back again. He's ranked number 1 in the overall standings in the circuit. It is MasTeR. Not the pants. Oh no, not the pants. No. Where did they go? As spawning in the top right hand corner, we have the Brazilian Terran player, the blue Terran. It is INexorable for Little Fairy. Here we go. Again, INexorable able to take a lead in the series. You can see their back and forth history between the two players. MasTeR with a slight advantage over INexorable in the history of Brazilian tournaments. But INexorable, he has those recent wins against him. Just clean them. Ah, no. As INexorable, cheeky move, he does fully wall off. This is a little bit inefficient. He does spend resources on a depot that's not really coming into play, but he does so to just fully wall MasTeR out of the main and to hide his build. Now, behind this, we can see that it is double gas. Double gas opener out of INexorable. Now, the scary thing is that MasTeR, he doesn't know this. For all he knows, it could be a Rax expand, a CC on the high ground. It could still be an economic build, or it could be a more aggressive one. MasTeR does not know. And it's not like this is game ending or anything like that, but, you know, there's now that unease that now goes over MasTeR here. It goes over and shrouds this game. Technically, this can turn into a 1-1-1, one base all in. It shouldn't. INexorable, there we go. CC on the high ground. Command center is on the way. Building up. Now, with the faster factory, that can lead into faster starports. That can lead, yep, speaking of, a very fast starport out of INexorable. What do you have for us? What do you got? Now, from here, you can go for early drop play. Tech Lab is in production. This can lead into a Cyclone drop. This can lead into a tank drop. I'm leaning towards one or the other. MasTeR playing it safe, opening up Sentry, going for the hallucination. Makes sense. As MasTeR has no idea what's going on, so he has to confirm. There's a medevac. Tech Lab is done. Oh. And the hallucination does confirm the CC. Does get eyes on the 1-1-1. It's almost like a fake out Tech Lab here. We have a Widowmine initially. From INexorable. Here's going from the mine. Okay, mine drop into add-on swap. Banshee production behind this. Hallucination does confirm the add-on swap. Technically, this could be a Raven base opener. We can see his Banshee. Even going into Cloak. INexorable does bust into the main. He's going for the workers. We'll see if he can get into that mineral line. Alas, he cannot. Nice target firing. Stalker goes down. Nice pickup. Takes out the Stalker. Pulls away with the army. Blink is not done. And INexorable, he will get away. Does get away. One Reaver for one probe and one Stalker. Better trade for INexorable. Robo's on the way. And with that, MasTeR will have access to detection. Third base not being taken. Once again, Scouts once again confirms that Cloak is being researched. But for the most part, he should be fully worth Cloak Banshee. Technically, that could be Interference Matrix, but Interference Matrix is just so out of meta nowadays. Like, Cloak will be the first to come to mind. And Banshee is revealed. MasTeR is ready. MasTer's getting some safety shield batteries in each mineral line just in case. He confirms the move out. And MasTer's getting in position. Blink is done. Now working towards charge. But it's on MasTer to slow this down. Instead going for a counter attack. Okay, it does come back. Turns back around. He can collapse on this army. Detection is available. Despite that, Stalkers are going down. Banshees, they add so much DPS here. And the tank does siege. Takes down the pylon, depowers the shield battery. Tank blows massive blows on the Stalkers. He blinks in, he goes for the dive. He gets one, he gets both tanks. Ooh, but at a cost, he will lose almost every single Stalker. That was a brutal trade. Does take down the tanks, but that may just cost him the base. Now there's no more Stalkers, he cannot slow this down. Does go for the warp in. The Nexus under fire. Banshees, they peel off into the mineral line. And they can one-shot. And GG gets called. They can one-shot workers. They wreak havoc. The third base, that's a kill on the third as well. And INexorable takes a massive lead. Takes a 2-0 advantage over INexorable takes a 2-0 advantage over MasTeR. GG. Ay, ay, ay. Again, that was just a brutal blink from MasTeR to blink forward onto those tanks. Upon losing all those Stalkers, that was it. That was game then and there. He could not keep up. He could not maintain those losses. Losing a third base after going for a 2-gate blink opener was brutal. Lost everything. GG. GG well played. Lost all the Stalkers, the economy, the base as well. And INexorable, he is close to causing an upset. I say upset. We did recently see INexorable defeat MasTeR in the finals of Code for Giants Cup and of Amantis in StarCraft, but it was the ace match, right? It went all the way to game 7. It was a 4-3 in favor of INexorable, or even a 3-2 before that in favor of INexorable. These still were back and forth going all the way to game 5 or game 7. We expect that here as well, but INexorable, he's close to taking the 3-0. He is one step closer to the 3-0 here, which would be insane. Let's go. We'll see if he can go all the way. We'll see if MasTeR can put a point on the board and fight back. And I expect him to, right? Like, we expect an ace match between these two players, considering that MasTeR is the #1 seed of the tournament. But, having a rough time here tonight. Over time. Also, shout out to INexorable having some cheeky builds as well, or well thought out builds is maybe a better way of putting it. In that last game, opening up with the faster factory, with the faster gases, Wouldn't drop into Banshee, into early tank push. It all just led into each other. And MasTeR had a really hard time keeping up. And here we go. We're now getting into game number 3, potentially the final game of the series. Again, I'm hoping for a game 4 and a game 5. But the pressure is on, as in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the Brazilian Protoss player, the Red Protoss of Team Hellfire. Again, the #1 ranked player in the Brazilian StarCraft 2 circuit, but struggling here in this TVP. It is MasTeR. It was close. And in the top left-hand corner, we have the Brazilian Terran player, the Blue Terran, representing Team Little Fairy, leading the series 2-0. It is INexorable. 2-0, man. Yeah. Hello, Zetekone. Hello. And again, you can see here, 4-3 in favor of INexorable, 3-1 in favor of INexorable as well, 3-2 in favor of MasTeR. Like, they do often trade back and forth. It's very rare to see a 3-0 in either direction. But INexorable, he's almost there. See, this is an INexorable that can now focus purely on StarCraft. For those that are curious, for a big portion, I say big portion, Jesus, the time flies. We're halfway through the year. Jesus. But for the last 2 months, I want to say, I was going to say like a big portion of 2025, but that's not even true. For the past 2 months, INexorable, he has been playing less StarCraft because he was conducting, or he was in the middle of his exams. University exams, I should say. So INexorable took some time off. He was being less active. I was concerned that he was retiring. I was like, yo, Pappy, what's going on? He was like, no, just, you know, focusing on my studies, focusing on exams. But they did wrap up. I want to say like a month ago at this point. Like a month ago, did wrap up. And now, since then, he has been focusing on competing, on improving, on playing once again. And yeah, looking terrifying here. Looking terrifying. I hear the fanfare in my head when I watch StarCraft 2 matches on the other streams. Oh, we're conditioning you. No, I'm the same. I'll be honest, I have a really hard time watching like GSL or watching like IM Katowice or EWC, especially last year. Like watching and not hearing the fanfare when they have the player introduction. I think for EWC it was a little bit better because they did have like a sound cue, but in general, man, I need my trumpets. I feel empty inside without them. Oh, no. They just go off in my head. Here we go. The fanfare. You bring the fanfare wherever you go. That's the secret. The real fanfare is inside you. Yes, it's inside. Oh no. Hello, Mr. Melancholia. Hello. ¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? Thank you as always, buddy. You're welcome. You're welcome. Hope you're enjoying the weekend. I know that we're nearing the end of the weekend, or here it's already Monday. But I hope you had a great weekend. Hope you guys had a great time with all the StarCraft. Again, there was a lot of StarCraft over the weekend. As always, so much. Meanwhile, we do have our initial move out here from INexorable, so a little bit distracted. Moving out with the initial Cyclone push into, I believe, a tank push here. INexorable with the early aggression. He's going for the kill. He's going for the pylon. And if he can kill that pylon, he can end the game. The tank does get within range. Pylon's under fire, and before we can even get into the game itself, it may just end here and now. The pylon goes down. The Artosis pylon depowers everything. Everything's depowered. No more gateways, no robo, no shield battery, no nothing. And that could just be game. The pylons are still within range. They're going down one after the other. GG gets called, and INexorable with the early push, with the early aggression, with the early Cyclone and tank drop will take the series. GG. GG, well played. This is a very nasty build that a lot of the Koreans, I say Koreans, a lot of the Terran players have been doing. If you've been watching MaxPax versus Clem recently, it was, I want to say 3 weeks ago, 3 weeks, maybe a month ago, MaxPax was doing this almost every game. He was doing this almost every game, and he was killing, I should say Clem was doing this almost every game, and he was killing MaxPax. Like, he was brutalizing him. This was on some of the smaller maps, like Whispers of Gold, for example, or even Persephone as well, Ultra Love, like these smaller maps where you can try to rush into this early Cyclone, early tank, and end the game. And it can be difficult to keep up with if you do miss the scout, if you're not ready for it. As you saw here, unfortunately, MasTeR, he wasn't able to be proactive. Like, he wasn't able to stop the push or force an earlier siege. He was at home, he was unaware. The pants were completely down, Pappy. GG, well played. Ooh, with that, INexorable will claim the series 3-0. Crazy, Pappy, crazy. He does take the series. INexorable, he will advance on to the upper portion of the bracket, to the upper bracket finals, I believe. And MasTeR is knocked down to the lower bracket. Aye. GG, well played. With that, congratulations to INexorable. Big win here for the best Terran in all of Brazil. Este Diego. And with that, we have one final best of 5 ready for us tonight. It's going to be a best of 5 between Eric and Shakti. And these games have been fast. Like, in general here, these matches have been pretty fast. We didn't really get to sink our teeth into a more mid-game between INexorable and MasTeR, but I kind of alluded to that at the start of the series. INexorable is very aggressive. He's very aggressive. Not saying he has to go for these 1-base all-ins, but like 2-base play as well. Like these strong timing attacks is how INexorable thrives against Protoss specifically. And MasTeR had a hard time keeping up. And with that, that leads us into our next best of 5 here to determine who plays against INexorable in the upper bracket, who gets knocked down to the lower bracket. We have a ZVP between Eric and Shakti. Let's go.